Okay, so let's get started now. So I'm going to share my screen as usual so that you can see my presentation. Okay, and then let me open my boxes. And what's the last one? Chat here, so that I can read about all of you. And the last one, which is question and answer. I can put it here. Okay, great. So welcome everyone. I'm so happy that that we start again with these destination webinars. I hope you enjoyed the experiential webinar that my colleague Miriam has done in the past 5 weeks. And I know, they've been very popular and they've been lots of fun. I've been making gelato for a few times now, so I'm sure you've done too. But now we're back for our last of destination webinars that we run every other week until the beginning of August. And today we are going to talk about the Italian Lake District, which is in northern Italy. The area has been a fashionable destination since the Roman times. The lakes, from Lake Orta in the west to Lake Garda in the east, differ in size and character. Their shores are home to sleepy lakeside towns and busy water sports resorts, which attract numerous visitors every year. And today, my guest speakers are Carolina and Sabrina from Grand Hotel Tremezzo and Villa Sola Cabbiati. And since hotels are now open in Italy, finally, this time we're not going to show you a video of the property, but we're going to connect live with them. And so they are going to show you with their cameras their lovely properties, which I think is great, to finally see something in person instead of having to look at a video or some photos. So make sure you stay connected. Oh, Janet, really? Janet, Carolina and Sabrina, Janet is saying that she was supposed to stay at Tremezzo this August. Well, I'm sure you will be able to go back.
Yes, we are waiting for you later.
And Ro is saying that, Tremezzo is one of her favorite. Yes, great.
Thank you so much.
As usual, we are following our consolidate format, going through the why, the where, what, when, and who of this area. So let's get started. Why the lakes? Formed at the end of the last ice age, the Italian lakes have always attracted travelers with their enchanted beauty. Arriving from snow-capped mountains or from cities such as Milan and Verona, you are greeted by wonderful gardens filled with rose camellia, pink oleanders, lemon trees, and luxurious palms, all surrounding these beautiful blue lakes. It's almost impossible not to be seduced. And in fact, it's no wonder that European aristocrats and Hollywood celebrities chose to call these parts of Italy their home. And we have George Clooney in Lake Como, which is very, very popular. But where are the Italian lakes? So what I've done this time, and I've put the lakes in my map so that you can see them. So we have from the left Lake Orta, Lake Maggiore, Lake Como, Lake Iseo, and Lake Garda. So we are in northern Italy, and as you can see from the map, the lakes spread out over 4 regions: Piedmont, Lombardy, Veneto, and Trentino. 6 airports serve the lakes, of which the most convenient for the western lake is Malpensa, which is just 15 kilometers from Lake Maggiore, and also very handy for Lake Orta and Lake Como too, together with Bergamo's Oriol Serio, while Verona Airport is the most convenient for Lake Garda. If you want to tour more than one lake, car is almost inevitable. However, think careful about how much time you want to spend driving, particularly in the summer months when the roads are congested, because you have to think that there is only one road that goes around the lake and is usually a one lane. So if you get stuck in traffic, it may take a long time. Although having a car will allow you to move freely around the lakes, it is worth considering whether you really need one, because there's frequent trains, that goes from Milan and connect to Stresa on Lake Maggiore and in Como, while Sirmione on Lake Garda can be reached by train from Verona. And what's more, once you are on the lakes, it's far quicker and definitely more scenic to travel across the lakes on the efficient network of ferries and hydrofoils. But what to do on the lakes? Well, the lakes offer plenty of opportunities for active travelers that will enjoy cycling, hiking, and sailing with the backdrop of the beautiful lakes. Offering peace, quiet, and natural beauty, lake holidays in this part of Italy are ideal for just, I mean, apart from the activities, the active activities, even just for simply relaxing, wandering around the many lakeside villages, which are filled with boutiques and stunning gardens. And due to the proximity with many wonderful cities, it's really easy to combine the tranquility of the lakes with the buzz of the city and just create the perfect Italian itinerary with a mix of both. But let's start our journey with Lake Garda, which is Italy's largest lake. So due to its size, it is exceptionally diverse. The southern shore is characterized by gentle hills, while to the north steep cliffs fringe the water. It is a heaven for outdoor enthusiasts, offering an array of sports including windsurfing, canyoning, and mountain biking. But there's plenty of culture too. The Vittoriale degli Italiani provides a fascinating glimpse into the life of one of Italy's greatest poets, Gabriele D'Annunzio, while the 13th century Castello Scaligero is where Goethe was briefly imprisoned in 1786. The lake's balmy climate is one of its big selling points. The lakes, in fact, act as a giant solar panel, and a ring of mountains stores the heat. The lake offers something for everyone. It is a paradise for windsurfers, for whom the most famous spot is Riva del Garda and Torbole, but also offers old-fashioned thermal establishment, which takes hot sulfurous water from a spring that originates from the bottom of the lake, just a few hundred meters offshore. But it also has its small-scale, its very own small-scale version of the Côte d'Azur in what's called the Riviera Bresciana, near Brescia. So let's explore some of the lake's most beautiful resorts, and we're going to start with Bardolino. So Bardolino sits on the eastern shore of Lake Garda and has beautiful lakefront views, much like any of the other towns on the lake. However, what sets Bardolino apart from the others, it's definitely its fine wine making. The Bardolino Rosso is a wine which is well known throughout the world, and when you visit, you can enrich yourself in 100 years of winemaking culture. Although Bardolino has only been a tourist destination for the past 100 years or so, it was already inhabited by the Romans, and due to its magnificent climate. Today, you can see what remains of the southern city gate from Roman times that was built in the 12th century. Bardolino also features a castle from those that was rebuilt from those time, from the 12th century, that was then rebuilt in the 14th century. Wine lovers are also encouraged to go and visit the Museo del Vino, the wine museum, which isn't much of a museum as it is more of a detailed tour of how wine is made in the area. And during the visit, you will see how vintners take the grapes from the nearby hillside towns and transform them into an award-winning beverage. There are many different wine cellars that you can visit during your stay in Bardolino, with the most famous being the Cantina Ca' Orza, which grapes are used to produce 2/3 of the wine made in Bardolino. So, that's one of the best ones to go and visit. This is probably my favorite photo from today. I love it. I'm gonna put it as my screensaver. So Sirmione is widely recognized for its peninsula, which is just a couple of 100 yards wide and extend for about 2 miles into the lake. The town itself sits right at the tip, offering almost 360-degree views of the lake. Visitors are spoiled for choice with romantic hotel options just moments from the old town and the 13th century castle. This tiny spa town has been a destination resort since early Roman times, and the natural thermal springs, now Roman ruins, and the 13th century castle make it a very popular destination on Lake Garda. The town offers a pedestrian center, casual and fine dining restaurants, and plenty of opportunities to shop. And because Sirmione is squeezed into such a small space, it's so popular with tourists that it may be best to explore it off-season, as it does get quite crowded during the peak summer months. Desenzano del Garda was probably one of the favorite destinations for the elite of Verona, which is the biggest nearby town, city. Nowadays, it has a pretty harbor, 3 large beaches, and a thriving nightlife scene with music bars and laid-back open-air cafes. If you want to experience a combination of quaint Italian charm, but also the amenities of a modern city, well, then there's no better place to go than Desenzano. This town is widely regarded to be the capital of Lake Garda and houses a population of just over 20,000 people. So, I mean, it is small, but for the type of villages that you find around the lakes, is quite a big city. In Desenzano, you'll experience the contrast between the hustle and bustle of a larger city with the same old feel that all the other villages around the lake have. Desenzano offers a wide variety of activities and attractions, including restaurant choices that range from 5-star dining to convenience cafes and street food. Sport enthusiasts can enjoy swimming pools, tennis courts, and also horseback riding around the area. While art and history lovers will appreciate all the museums, libraries, and artifacts that dot the landscape. So there's something for everyone. Moving up north on the western shore is Gardone Riviera, which is just a type of town where you can literally picture yourself lazing away your afternoons. The breathtaking sceneries, the casual piazzas, and the diverse shops just invite you to meander away your days. It's a great base camp for, I mean, when you want to explore Lake Garda, if you want to just do your own Lake Garda adventure. The other towns around the lake are easily accessible by ferry or through the lakeside road. Although it's dominated by tourism, Gardone Riviera remains quite casual and laid back. There is a lakeside promenade that is framed by flower boxes. And there is also a wide variety of shops and restaurants around the lake, around the promenade. And further uphill is the historic center of the village, where you can find most of the other attractions. One in particular is the Heller Botanic Garden, also known as Giardino Botanico Hruška, which is the city crown jewel. Artur Hruška, the founder of the gardens, started creating his masterpiece in 1910. And thanks to the unique climate, he was able to plant exotic species from around the world. At the gardens, you'll be able to see magnolias, Tibetan primroses, several types of iris and ferns, just to mention a few of the variety that grow here. The beautifully designed grounds feature Japanese landscaping, classic Italian foliage, and bamboo trees. Hruška tended to the grounds until 1971, while today the gardens are owned by the André Heller Foundation that has installed modern art sculpture around the grounds, which had a dimension of lavishness to the place. So where if you're in the area, it's something that you shouldn't miss. And last but not least, in our Lake Garda tour is absolutely Riva del Garda. As I was saying before, given the stronger wind, this is the place for windsurfers and water sport enthusiasts. The Grand Mountains are also perfect for outdoor adventure fun with climbing, canyoning and hiking all in offer, depending, I mean, just on how intrepid you are and how, you know, how brave you are to try these sports. And to add a bit of culture, there's a medieval fortress, city gates built by the Venetians, and lovely glamorous squares. Riva del Garda is one of the most popular resorts on the lake and the second largest town. It's been a hot spot since late 1800, with tourism only increasing after World War I, when the city became part of Italy, because before it was actually part of Germany. And so you can only find German and Austrian tourists whose influence is still felt in the town today. One of the things that make Riva del Garda so unique compared to the other towns is its beach, where you can just relax, or, I mean, you can challenge yourself with one of the many sports and water sports. And now we move into Lake Iseo. So cradled in a deep glacial valley northwest of Brescia is Lake Iseo, which doesn't feature in most tour operators' Italian lakes itinerary. It is something quite off the beaten path. And I mean, I think this is already one of the best reasons to go there, because it's definitely not crowded, it doesn't have too many tourists. The other reason is absolutely the scenery. Lake Iseo is really elegant with its handsome waterside promenade and wide squares lined by low arcades. Lake Iseo is a place where people live and work. So tourists are absolutely welcome, but you won't see all the old show that other villages of the other lakes will put on for tourists. From Sulzano and Sale Marazzino on the lake's eastern shore, boats ply back and forth to Monte Isola, which proclaims itself to be Europe's largest lake island. It is certainly one of the steepest, as you can ask, I mean, everybody that climbs through the walnut tree up to the 13th century church of Madonna della Ceriola will definitely tell you, I mean, that's an amazing hike, but is very, very steep. There is also an ancient traded route, the Via Valeriana, which is another popular hiking, and is beautiful because it snakes through olive groves and vineyards. While the village of Zone is home to impressive rocky pyramids topped with granite boulders. While on Lake Iseo, you should definitely pay a visit to the castle of Grumello, which is overlooking the village of Grumello del Monte, situated in between Bergamo and Lake Iseo. This castle dates back to the Middle Age, and nowadays the tower, the back gates, and the Knight's Hall, plus the cellar, are open for exploration. But the fortress isn't the only draw here, because there is a winery that produces 100,000 bottles of incredible wine each year, and it's definitely worth a visit. Sorry, let me just reply to Susan. Are there ferries? How long would it take the boat from Riva del Garda to Sirmione? So yes, there are ferries. I don't remember exactly how long it takes, but I'll look up for you and let you know in a bit. Okay, let's move now to Lake Maggiore, which is situated on the border between Piedmont and Lombardy, where, well, this was once a popular resort for European nobility, and today is a peaceful spot offering lovely sightseeing along with walking and mountain biking routes. Despite its stately bearing, grand hotels, formal garden, and its fringe of mountain, Maggiore is not as popular as Lake Garda or Lake Como. But the lake is absolutely full of charm, with picturesque and busy central villages that can be reached by boat, using the extensive network that also connect the mainland with the many islands several times a day. The lake's leading resort is Stresa, and is definitely one of the top places to visit in Lake Maggiore. It boasts magnificent views across the lake and over to the Borromean Island, plus there are art galleries, restaurants, cafes, piazzas, and plenty of cultural and musical events year-round. The lakeside promenade is absolutely perfect for an afternoon stroll in the sun with all these well-kept gardens and monuments lined all the way along. And if you're looking for the best place to go shopping, there are all the streets around Piazza Giacomo Matteotti near the Tourist Information Office. There you will find both high street shops as well as little local boutiques. For the best views in Lake Maggiore, you definitely need to take the Mottarone cable car, which departs from the Lido di Stresa, and the first stop gives you the chance to amble around the Alpine Gardens or even walk back down to Stresa, while the next and last stop is the summit of Mount Mottarone. Here there is a short walk uphill, which will take you to a magnificent viewpoint, which is absolutely perfect for all your photos. And from here, you can see across the Alps and all the way to the Po Valley. And I mean, the natural landscape is absolutely amazing. On a clear day, this is absolutely the best place to experience, I mean, to see all the lake. But now, when you're visiting Lake Maggiore, what you cannot miss is to visit the Isole Borromee Island. Consisting of 3 small islands and 2 islets, the islands collectively boast large gardens, palaces, and 1 small town. Boats that operate an op-on, op-off service can be caught from the shores of Stresa, but also from Verbania. The ferry from Stresa stops first at Isola Bella, where between the 1650 and 1671, Count Vitaliano Borromeo built up terraces and created a splendid summer palace. You can tour its magnificent state apartments, the ornate Salone Grande, the domed Salone delle Feste, the ballroom, and the Sala della Musica, the music room, which is filled with rare musical instruments. Below the palace are 6 grottos, which are artificial caves whose walls are encrusted with shells and pebbles. The palace is decorated with sumptuous furnishings and collection of the 17th century Flemish tapestry and Lombard paintings of the 16th and 17th century. But for most visitors, the most important part of Isola Bella is actually the Italian-style garden, rising in 10 terraces to the height of 32 meters and covered with luxuriant southern vegetation. Like Isola Bella, Isola Madre, which is the bigger one, belongs to the Borromeo family. The island has beautiful English-style grounds which surpass even Isola Bella in the variety and luxuriance of their plants. Although by the nature of a landscape garden, they are less scenic and more designed for just strolling and appreciating the lake views at leisure. They are especially beautiful in the spring and in early summer when the azaleas, the rhododendrons, and camellias are in full bloom. Sorry. The villa is less ornated than the palace on Isola Bella and is particularly interesting for its collection of marionettes and stage scenery for puppet shows, as well as the 17th century paintings and porcelain. But then after all this touring, for lunch or dinner, I would highly recommend a visit to Isola dei Pescatori, which is the 3rd of the Borromean island. There are quaint cobbled streets lined with cafes and restaurants, and it's absolutely the perfect place to stop off for nourishment on your tour of the islands. This once fishing village has also a church which dates back to the 11th century and a lovely, lovely arbor that you can just wander around, maybe with an ice cream. On the lake's north shore, facing the resort of Stresa, is the charming botanical lakeside town of Verbania. The Villa Taranto Botanical Gardens are one of the highlights of Verbania and are ideal for those looking to relax and just enjoy a lazy hot summer day. Although those visiting in spring will also see the thousands of tulips planted here in full bloom, an absolutely wonderful sight. The public park of Villa Giulia is located on the lake shore, which makes for another pleasant place to visit on your holiday. No wonder why this lovely lakeside town is called the Garden on the Lake. And there is also a museum dedicated to landscape, plus a national park on the town's doorstep. The ferries from Verbania take you to the Borromean Island and also across to the lake to Laveno. Verbania sits on a promontory offering great views up and down the lake. You can also hire a boat if you want and go to Stresa or walk along the shoreline to the neighboring town. Some of Lake Maggiore's best beaches are also in this area, in Verbania and in the neighboring town of Giffa. The town of Verbania has lovely cafes, nice restaurants, and I would say a laid-back yet affluent feeling atmosphere. It's a relaxing spot with gorgeous panorama and plenty of outdoor activities. And not to be missed on your visit to Lake Maggiore is the Rocca d'Anghera, which is also known as Borromeo Castle. This is a hilltop castle in the town of Anghera on the southern shore of Lake Maggiore. The castle boasts historical halls decked with painting, portraits, and fine furniture. And one of the castle's main attractions is the Museum of Dolls and Toys, which was founded in 1988 by Princess Bona Borromeo Arese. Dolls represented all period of history and are made from every imaginable material, from wax to plastic. The museum showcased toys made from the 18th century up to the present day. And I mean, after discovering the castle and the museum, you can head out and explore the amazing gardens with the extensive flora and fauna that surround these medieval walls. And now onto Lake Orta. Lying entirely in Piedmont, small Lake Orta is not widely known, although it is undoubtedly one of the most captivating of the lake. Lake Orta's small size and tranquil atmosphere make it absolutely ideal for a romantic weekend away, and it's definitely a pocket-sized lake. It is only 13 kilometers long and 3 kilometers wide. On the lake, the medieval village of Orta San Giulio is the place to go. It's gorgeous, has narrow cobbled street, a picturesque piazza overlooked by the Palazzotto, which is a frescoed 16th century building, and has amazing views of the island called Isola San Giulio, which is the one that you're seeing in the picture. I mean, apart from the amazing local food, Orta is also, which I mean is the popular food, the local food. Orta is also famous for two-star Michelin star restaurant, Villa Crespi, and also has a lovely open-air market on Wednesday. The island of San Giulio is home to a monastery which houses a community of nuns, and you can see the basilica rising up majestically from the shores of Orta San Giulio. It is this tower on the island against the mountain backdrops that gives Orta an air of mystery, I would say. Here there are just, I mean, very, very few tourists. While there are several delicatessens, an antiquarian bookshop, a shop specializing in period jewelry, and an excellent wine bar, the cozy Enoteca Re di Coppe. You can reach the island via the small ferry service that departs regularly from the waterfront of Orta San Giulio. And now, finally, in Lake Como. Well, this is probably the most popular of the Italian lake. The stylish Lake Como attracts its share of celebrities and tourists, although its lakefront villages still manage to retain a traditional feel. Its shores are lined with grand neoclassical villas backed by impressive gardens, a number of which are open to the public. And there are plenty of gorgeous villages scattered throughout the lake, So we're going to see just a few of the most famous ones. Let's start with the city of Como, which is located on the Italian-Swiss border, overlooking the southwest end of the lake. And it's surrounded by green hills that offer stunning natural scenery. The great thing about Como is that you can really see and do a lot of things, whether you're visiting Lake Como for a day or staying longer. The town center offers delightful streets full of shops, museums such as the Silk Museum, and churches, including the spectacular Duomo, which has a grand dominating facade and amazing interiors. You can take a stroll along the lakefront, which is the best place to take pictures, but you can also enjoy the stunning views from the lake on a boat trip. And you can get on the cable car and in a few minutes reach Brunate, which is a town that overlooks Como from the top at about 2,300 feet high. Once there, you can walk for about 35 minutes and reach the Volta Lighthouse, which is a beautiful lighthouse that alternately emits the colors of the Italian flag. So the green, white, and red lights. Como is really well connected to Milan, which takes just half an hour on the train, meaning it's the perfect hub for day trippers and tourists. 1 mile northwest of Como sits Cernobbio, home to the world-famous Villa d'Este, which is an astonishing Renaissance building that has historically housed many famous individuals ranging from scholars to intellectuals. Originally built in the 1568 as the summer residence of a cardinal, it became a luxury hotel in 1873 and has catered to Europe's rich and famous ever since. Aside from the hotel, Cernobbio has a peaceful yet cosmopolitan vibe, and it feels more spacious than many other lakes towns, given its relatively flat topography. Aside from one of the largest piazza found in any town on the lake, Cernobbio is also home to the gorgeous Villa Erba and Villa Bernasconi that you can visit. For hiking lovers, the town is near the start of the Monti Lariani Trail, which extends for 80 miles to the northernmost point of the lake. From every corner of Cernobbio, you have amazing views. So just ensure that you spend a lot of time just wandering around the waterfront and just absorbing the natural beauty that's in front of you. Well, one of the most beautiful places in Lombardy and also known as the Pearl of the Lake is Bellagio, which is located halfway between the two southernmost branches of the lake. The town of Bellagio is a classic traditional Italian town with its winding narrow alleyways, steep stairways, and immense varieties of eateries and wineries. Bellagio is filled to the brim with beautiful gardens and villas to explore, and has an abundance of incredible photos opportunities, so it's definitely Instagrammable. You can head to Via Giuseppe Garibaldi and splurge on some luxury Italian leather goods, such as bags, shoes, and jackets. Perfect for shopping lovers, but also explore some independent stores that sell an array of unique items that you can, just buy for yourself or bring home as a gift to your friends. And most of the town's best attractions are within walking distance, which makes Bellagio perfect also for a day trip. Within ferry reach from Bellagio is Varenna, which is also one of the few towns accessible from Milan via train. So the perfect choice for travelers who aren't planning to drive to the lake. This was traditionally a fishing village, but now it features brightly colored homes and villas that sit close to each other on the waterfront, lined by a charming promenade. The town is both romantic and peaceful. In truth, there isn't much to do here, and this is why people visit it. Because, sometimes you just need a place where you just want to relax. Of course, there are amazing gardens like those at Villa Monastero that you can visit, and you can hike up to Vezio Castle for the beautiful views. Though Varenna itself is small, there is a wide variety of authentic Italian eateries that serve traditional dishes with locally sourced ingredients. And it is also a great place to sample delicious local wines, as well as experiment with the abundance of gelato flavors. And so you know why this is one of my favorite places. From Varenna, it's easy to access other towns such as Menaggio and Cadenabbia. And in fact, directly across the lake from Varenna, within about 15-30 minutes ferry drive, and also equally close to Bellagio, is Menaggio, which makes a fine base from which to explore the northern and southern section of the lake. This laid-back town is similar to Bellagio, though it is somewhat less popular. Once a walled city in medieval times, today it's a bustling resort filled with hotels, restaurants, live entertainment, arcades, shops, and there is also even a mini golf course. It's quite possible to spend an entire day just lazing about the lovely lakefront promenade, but it is worth climbing the steep stairs to explore the older part of the town, where you can walk along the enormous perimeter walls that once bordered the ancient castle, which unfortunately now is largely demolished. And if you'd like to escape for a bit, the nearby Breglia is a good starting point for hiking trails ranging from easy to difficult. And this is our last stop for today, which is Tremezzina, located on the western banks of Lake Como, right in front of Bellagio. The town is actually the result of a recent merger of the municipality of Lenno, Mezzegra, Ossuccio, and Tremezzo. Visiting Tremezzina means having the chance to enjoy a place that is rich in atmosphere, history, and attractions. A great thing about Tremezzina is its proximity to the very popular town of Bellagio and Varenna, where you can get by ferry in 10-20 minutes, starting from the nearby village of Cadenabbia, and to Menaggio, which is easily reachable by bus in just 10 minutes. The town is definitely a stopover point for many tourists and visitors who wish to visit somewhere slightly quiet, but still with enough buzz and vibrancy about it. Here you can visit the Church of Santa Maria, which is famous for its incredible statue of the Madonna Nera, the Black Virgin Mary. The church itself is also beautiful and offers incredible views. Like most towns in Lake Como, there are also many villas to explore. One of these is Villa Carlotta, with its grand white facades and commanding size that have enticed visitors for years. And another one is Villa Balbianello, which is located on the tip of the Laveno headland, surrounded only by nature. In fact, you can get there by foot, walking for about 1 kilometer on a footpath, or by taxi boat that lives near the public beach of Lenno. This famous villa has been used as the setting for several movies, like Casino Royale and Star Wars Episode 2, Attacks of the Clones. So I'm sure you would recognize it. And it's here in Tremezzina, or better Intermezzo, that we find today's guest speaker, Carolina and Sabrina. So let me stop sharing my screen, stop share, and then let me just, so Sabrina, I'm gonna pass it on to you.
Let me see.
And
here am I. Welcome to Grand Hotel Tremezzo to everyone. Thank you so much, Chiara, for the introduction of the lake region and of Lake Como, of course. So, as Chiara anticipated before, Grand Hotel Tremezzo finally opened on the 26th of June. So we had the pleasure to welcome the first guest at the Grand. And we were so delighted to see that as soon as they stepped into the property, they were already with a relaxing holiday mood. So they were really looking for a real holiday despite all happenings. And the property, I'm so pleased because the property on Friday will celebrate 110 years old.
Wow.
Because actually was built in 1910. And is the only property on Lake Como that was built already as a grand hotel. So since the very beginning. And one of our main highlights is actually the family who's own the property, because they really take care of every small details of the hotel, and they invest so much in the whole renovation. And but let's start our tour because we don't have so much time. And I'm sure a lot of you are asking, okay, where's the lake? So we decided to show, first of all, the back of the property, because not many people knows that actually we do have an amazing garden right on the back of the property, where one of our pool is located, is the flowers pool. And actually on the top, you cannot see, but there's also our tennis court. And here there's our 3-story fitness center. So the property is a real resort, and there's so much going on, and so much that the guest can experience here. So now I'm gonna show you just 2 categories. So I couldn't show all the rooms and suites that we do have, but so we decided to show you the entry category and one of the top accommodations, so you can get an idea of how is the Grand Hotel Tremezzo. So let's start from the Park View Prestige room. So this is the entry category. As you can see, it's a classical style, and but is not too traditional. And here is possible to accommodate 2 adults plus 1 kid. And this is the view over our beautiful garden. So no bad views in Tremezzo. And now let's walk through the corridor. This is the bathroom. And let's do. Here's one of the incredible views actually already from the corridors. What you can see over there is the peninsula of Balbianello that you were mentioning before. Here am I. So regarding accommodation, so as I show you, there are some rooms that are overlooking the park, and of course, most of the rooms are lake view. We do have interconnecting option on both sides. And now what I'm gonna show you is one of the historical suites. We do have 15 suites. Some of them are more historical in details. And then just be aware that we do have the rooftop floor that was built in 2012 and is a little bit different from the rest because it's our contemporary soul of the property. So it's a little bit more modern and is just all suites floor. All of them, they feature an amazing heated jacuzzi outside in the terrace. So it's quite different from what I'm showing you now. So now I'm gonna show you, here it is, Suite Maria. That actually is one of my favorites because it's the one dedicated to honeymooners. So here we enter with this lovely living room. And of course, I cannot miss to show you the beautiful view, also because I'm gonna show you the news for 2020. Because we enlarged this year, we enlarged our beach. Our sandy beach is here. As you can see, the pool that everyone loves, so the water on the water pool that is just waving every time the boat is passing. And here, Bellagio. So it makes you understand how close we are to Bellagio and all the main attraction of Lake Como. So as Chiara was saying, there's just a ferry that across the shore, and you can really easily reach Bellagio. And this is what our guests really love more, that they are in the middle of the action, really in the heart of the lake. And just
Sabrina,
to show you again,
said that she wants this room next year.
Ah, perfect. I will take note about it. And now let's enter because I want to show you also the bedroom, because actually this one features an amazing 4-poster bed with the bed. So you have to imagine when you're awake with this view. So it's not incredible?
Yes, it is.
And then just to give you an idea of the bathroom, with the red marble from Verona. So this is, again, just to recap, was one of our historical suite. And the property itself, just to give you the rest of the presentation, feature 5 restaurants, so a lot of options for our guests. And what is nice that for 2020, despite the inventory is a little bit reduced, we decided to have all our facilities and all our restaurants open and available for our guests, so they can enjoy Grand Hotel Tremezzo like last year. And of course, we took all the different procedures regarding health and safety, but in a very fashionable way. We are Italians, so our guests really appreciate what we did, and actually they appreciate also our small present that we give it to them. That is actually a silk mask. That is not required. Yes.
I love that one.
Because Lake Como is very famous for the silk production. Yeah. And actually we give them the mask. Is not compulsory to wear it all the time, just indoor. But most of the property is developed outdoor. Also the restaurant, for example, the main one is a terrace, open air. And so it's not really needed to wear it. So don't be scared about that. And this is it. So I don't know if there are other questions, but I think I ran out of my time, and I want you to discover also our charming 6-suite villa, Villa Sola Cabbiati, where Carolina is. So I'm gonna put her in line.
Yeah, in the meantime, ask you a question. Mary is asking if the hotel closed for winter.
Yes, so we're gonna close this year. We are gonna close on the 7th of November. This is the idea. Of course, it's quite different from the rest, the usual season, as you can imagine. And we think to close on the 7th of November and reopen again next year on the 1st of April.
Okay, great. Carolina, do you want to share your video?
Absolutely, I'm ready for you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Villa Sola Cabbiati. So as Chiara and Sabrina said, my name is Carolina, and I'm really feeling right now like a royalty. So I have to thank you because you gave me the opportunity to spend a little bit more time here in this private, beautiful villa. I hope that you can see me. Right now I'm into the foyer, which is the main entrance of the villa. And before to make a little tour and obviously show you the fantastic view that I'm enjoying right now, I want to give you some more information about what is this private villa. First of all, we started this collaboration with the Serbelloni family, which is the current owner of this property, a few years ago. And at the very beginning, it was available only for events. So we used to celebrate anniversaries, private dinners, weddings, obviously, and so on. And then we started to see like much interest for the villa to be privatized and stay overnight. But we were not ready because there was no air conditioning, there was no Wi-Fi, there was no, all the beds were really like old fashioned. And at the end, the De Santis family, Valentina, together with her family, were allowed to make all the necessary renovation. And now the villa is fully available also for stays of 3 nights or longer. There is a minimum length of stay of 3 nights. And in my opinion, the rate is absolutely, is something that you have to take advantage of, because it's starting from 7,000 euros plus 10% VAT per night, up to 12 guests, because there are 6 suites all facing the lake. This is the price during the low season and is fully commissionable. And then it goes up to 12,000 euros plus 10% VAT, always minimum 3 nights during our high and peak season. So now I will make a tour of the villa here on the first floor. So the first rooms that you see once you enter, but one of the best things is definitely the view, in my opinion, because here we are. So we are directly in front of Lake Como. It's literally once from Hotel Tremezzo, because it takes just 10 minutes and you can walk directly by the lake. You can take nice pictures, or you can even arrive in 2 minutes by private transfer, always from Grand Hotel Tremezzo to get here, or alternatively by boat. And what's available into the villa? As I said, there are 6 accommodations, all featuring the lake, but there is also a private swimming pool, which is located in the beautiful gardens located in the backgrounds of the villa. And those, I mean, that it's one of my favorite places because it's so quiet and intimate. Who is coming at Villa Sola Cabbiati? We had several families, somebody celebrating special occasions like anniversaries, and once you get here, you really feel like you are in a royalty, because it comes full staffed. So you have a housekeeping service every day. You have a private concierge taking care of every need. Very happy to share with you all recommendations, where to go, what to see. You have a waiter taking care of all your desires. You have also a chef preparing for you all the best foods, because as we know, you are and I mean, you cannot be on a diet when you are in Italy, because no, it's no way. I mean, you have to try everything. And then apart from that, you can see that the villa is like the style of the villa is very traditional. We made several renovations. Wi-Fi is available everywhere. We renovated all the accommodations available, but I mean, this is the ceiling of the villa. So there are frescoes from the Tiepolo school, and everywhere you really live into art. So it's something really fantastic. And one of my favorite corner of the villa is definitely the living area with the piano. And you can see here, I'm moving in. Yes, yeah. You can come here, Ron.
I can join you, Ro.
Yes, I wish I was able to spend here like my entire life, but I really feel lucky to work here and have the opportunity to come sometimes, someday to enjoy the relax and the quiet atmosphere only available here. And then, as I said, unfortunately, I'm not able to show you the accommodations right now, because we made some tests with Sabrina, and all the walls are so thick that I'm worried that the connection is not going to work in my way to get upstairs. But we will share with you, obviously, all the pictures, and you can obviously ask Chiara any further information. And just for your information, who is staying at Villa Sola Cabbiati also has the opportunity to enjoy all the facilities of Grand Hotel Tremezzo. So it means that you can enjoy our 3-story spa, the fitness, all the restaurants in case you want to go outside for lunch or dinner, and also the clay tennis court that Sabrina showed before, very close to the flower pool located in our gardens. But we noticed that so far, I mean, for Sola Cabbiati and Pamin, they enter here in the foyer where I am right now, then they completely forget about the rest. And regarding the location, back to the location, as I said, it's very close to the property, but it's also very close to all the main locations and villages that everybody wants to visit when they come here on Lake Como. So it's literally 5 minutes away by boat from Villa Sola Cabbiati. Sorry, 5 minutes away from Villa Valpianello, 2 minutes away from Villa Carlotta, which is actually next door to Grand Hotel Tremezzo. And I mean, again, I want to show you one more time the view. And right now it's like aperitivo time. So can you imagine yourself sitting outside here in the garden streets, or a glass of champagne, or I don't know, just taking pictures of the view? It's like a dream. And obviously,
I mean,
if you have any...
there. I was there, I think it was 3 years ago. And I still have... 3 years ago, I think, and I still have a picture of upstairs from the balcony. Yeah. Of the room upstairs with the views of the lake behind me, and it's just amazing. It's a wonderful place. The rooms are stunning, and you've done an amazing job in renovating it. And as you know, I do love villas in general. I mean, I love hotels, but coming from a background in villas, villas is very special for me, and I think, I mean, it would be a pleasure to stay there because it's really beautiful.
Yes, it's fantastic, Chiara. I agree with you, and I thank you very much for these kind words. So I'm so grateful that you had the opportunity to come and personally visit Villa Sola Cabbiati. But I mean, I have to say that honestly, the pictures, even the live session today, they are not giving the images are not giving justice to the beauty and the incredible atmosphere that and the sense of relax that you can enjoy when you're staying here, especially days where everybody, of course, we are all experiencing and everybody wants to be a part. Definitely, this is the best, one of the best accommodation where you can be very close to all the popular places to visit, but home away from home. So this is how we want to consider Villa Sola Cabbiati and even Grand Hotel Tremezzo, because they are both family-owned properties. And once you arrive at the entrance, you can really perceive that there is a family behind every single detail and every touches that you can notice in both properties, the villa and the hotel.
That's absolutely true. Thank you very much, Carolina. Thank you, Sabrina. Carolina, if you can
Grazie mille, Chiara.
I'll just have 3 more slides to finish our presentation today. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat so that, you know, myself or Carolina or Sabrina, we can absolutely answer them.
Sure. And thank you very much once for this opportunity. Now you are the host, Chiara. So let me know if you're able to slides.
Yes, so let me just share my screen again. Okay, great. So just to finish, when is the right time to go to the lakes? Well, spring and autumn are ideal time to visit the Italian lakes with comfortable temperatures and fewer crowds for sure. Let me just open up the chat, sorry, okay. And the fabulous gardens that line the shores are obviously at their best between April and June, where you have all the flowers in full bloom. And the raising temperature is a real draw. The summer months of July and August see the highest temperatures, making this a great time to just relax by the water or enjoy the many water sports. But obviously is the peak season. While from November to March, as Sabrina was saying, many hotels shut down for the winter because the temperature drops considerably. Oh yes, Leslie, October is still a perfect month, absolutely. And then who is it for? Well, if you're looking for a destination that will suit every generation, then the Italian lakes certainly fit the bill. The variety of museums, adventure parks, gardens, beaches, activities, and shoppings mean that truly there is something for everyone. Well, Lake Garda is the active hotspot, offering rock climbing, canyoning, and water sports, while Lake Como is bustling with walking trails, funiculars, mountain biking, and beaches that offer fun and relax, but with a touch of glamour. Lake Maggiore offers Grand Slam sites and gardens within easy reach to Milan. Every year, the Italian lakes gets more and more popular, also amongst couples and honeymooners. And in fact, you can combine a journey in the lakes with a few days in Venice, Verona, or Milan, and you have an easy two-center honeymoon where romance is absolutely off the scale. Few destinations are more beautiful and romantic than the Italian lakes, each of which offers a unique appeal and atmosphere. And now to finish, my top tips. So if you want to just have a taste of the lakes, head to Lake Como or Lake Garda for a couple of days. But then if you want a full immersion into these beauties, plan at least a week or so. If you're visiting just one lake, move around with the ferries instead of by a car. I mean, that's absolutely a no-breaker. The views are amazing, incredible, and you won't get stuck in traffic, which, as I said, can be absolutely terrible in peak season. Include in your itinerary a visit to at least one of the gardens and the villas, because they are absolutely worth it. Based on which lake you're visiting, make sure you add to the trip a winery to taste some of the beautiful labels and accompanied by local savory treats. And then the last one, get active and try some of the many sports available, whether it's water sports or hiking or cycling, whatever works best for you. And thank you so much for taking part in this webinar today. We have begun just 2 minutes longer than usual, so that's perfect. I want to thank you again, Carolina and Sabrina, for being with us and for giving us just a glimpse into their properties, which are amazing. Next,
thanks to you, Chiara.
You're welcome. Next webinar is in 2 weeks' time, so on the 21st of July, and we're going to talk about Veneto region, which won't be just Venice, which obviously many of you knows, but all the other amazing little villages there are in Veneto. As usual, here you have all our contact details, email address, our website, our Facebook group. So however you want to get in touch, just send us an email, just send us a message. We are here to help you. And thank you again so much and take care.
Grazie Chiara, thank you everybody.
Arrivederci everyone.
Ciao.